morning, and welcome back. Karolina Zibuck is here to perform for us this morning. Please join me in welcoming her.
Give your all to me, I'll give my all to you. You're my and my even when I'm tired. 'Cause I give you all of me. You give me all of you. I give you all.
What a great way to start. Please join me in welcoming our Board of Education, Alumni Association, leader Maryjane and Eileen Kelly, BHS Executive President, as well. It's great to see everyone. I hope that you had a great summer, and I'm so happy to see you back at school. Before we go any further, I'd like to ask you to provide us with some feedback and let us know what you're thinking. While I'm speaking, after this morning, throughout the week, the day, anytime, as a matter of fact, if you use your phone right now,
We don't get our
and you can just click to the next slide. Thanks. If you use your phone right now and you focus it actually on the camera right on the. I don't know if there's another microphone. Thanks. If you focus on the QR code with your camera, if you don't have an iPhone, if you have another device, then I'm not sure if it works the same way, but the link works. And I'll send you an email in just a few minutes right after I'm speaking. Anyways, the point is, if you use the QR code or the link that we'll send out to you, tell us how you feel, tell us what's on your mind, and really what we're looking for is to understand better what more we can do to support you. So this is just an open-ended, very vulnerable question asking you, what's on your mind, what are you thinking, and what can we do to continue to help and support each of you. Go back and off and rate each other's thoughts, give us some good feedback, please. So, as vulnerable as that question might make us feel, it's also important that we're all asking those questions, right? The tell me more question. Those three words are so important. You are what makes it all happen, and we need to know what you are needing, what your needs are. It's been quite a busy summer for sure. Last year we had ups and downs. We had a time strange year, of course, and at all times an emotional journey together. But what struck me, as it has before, is your indomitable spirit, your commitment to each child who walks through your doors. I recently heard someone speak about putting the last side first. In other words, just cut to the chase. So let's do that. Let me start by saying to you, we could not be more proud of your work, proud of the way you handle the most challenging situations each and every day. We couldn't be more supportive of you as professionals either. So let me be clear on the last point. You have been, you are, and you will be supported in situations both mundane and situations that are the most challenging. You will not be left out to defend yourself. And although someone might question your work, please know that when you are teaching and your interactions are thoughtful, caring, supportive, balanced, and take into account the needs of all children, which describes who you are all the time, we will shout our support for you from the mountaintop and be unyielding in defending each and every one of them. It's so important for us to use those three words, though, in our interactions. Tell me more. When confronted with these challenging situations where words and situations strike us differently, it's important to look at the other person and say, tell me more, help me understand that. It just creates such a better dialogue. They make such a difference, those words, in opening a thoughtful, responsive, and caring discourse, one that doesn't exist much in the dialogue these days. We certainly know there isn't a way to please everyone, or at times please anyone for that matter. We have a little more insight sometimes in Facebook or the Democratic Chronicle, so feel free to ask a question. We try not to make decisions based on what one group of adults or another would like us to do or what seems politically expedient or correct. So very comfortably I say to you that our only interest in every situation is doing what is right for the right reasons, and for us that means always putting the needs of children and the support of you at the heart of our decision making. In all matters, big and small, your intelligence, your support, your warmth, your kindness, your perseverance have been so much appreciated. Thank you for teaching and leading in the most complicated and challenging of times, but also keeping it simple by focusing on the needs of children right in front of us each and every day. So speaking of perseverance in matters both big and small, as you all know, we're in the midst of an incredible capital project that will transform and revitalize the buildings in the district. I thank you for your patience in being in this room today instead of in the auditorium. It's also interesting for me because this is the first year in 11 of these that I can actually see you. Before I just imagined that you thought this was hilarious and fun and everything else. Now I can see the look on your face and I'm finding out maybe it's not. But let's take a quick look at what's happening and work throughout the district. That QR code is on every one of the slides, and I know, of course, somebody said as I was distracted before, hilarious. Of course, somebody has their phones out, but that goes for the project as well. Anything, when you get to your rooms and spaces today, let us know what else we can do, what else needs to be done in order, again, to support your work. I'd like to ask the buildings and ground staff for our attendance, if you could just stand up for a moment. Are literally already standing up and leaving the seats for all of you. So the work has been unbelievable this summer, and it is all of the time. They do really, really amazing work. But opening and getting ready for the beginning of school in the most trying of circumstances. I mean, really, right up until today, there's so much happening. Yesterday, throughout the entire weekend, people were here getting ready for you to come back, getting ready for our kids to come back. So again, thank you very much to Rob Luce, John Novelli, Kevin Gazzo, Bill Lamo. Can't thank all of you enough for your oversight, your leadership, and your constant work on this project, but also always make our buildings and grounds so great. Another round of applause for them. There are so many people that work incredibly hard to prepare for our opening and to support the instruction work that's done with our students each and every day. And there are support services that deserve our thanks as well. Please join me in our heartfelt thanks to our clerical staff members throughout the district, business office staff, central office staff, data support, human resources, PBS office staff, technology, audiovisual, food service, and transportation staff. Let's give them a round of applause now. Please thank you. I'd like to take a moment to specifically thank myself, Lisa Hartman, Christopher Schneider, Mike Paxton, Kyle Breger, Mike Wiener, Nicole Vandermeer, Eric Gruner, Dan Golden, and of course Kim Lansing for all their help in preparation for today and the opening of school. I'd also like to thank our leadership team, Luke, Debbie, Carolyn, and our Board of Education for their work throughout the summer and this year. I'm honored to be part of such a great team and a colleague with each and every one of them. And as I've said often to you, another blessing for us and our family is the fact that our children are here with you and growing up as a part of this community. They're getting awfully big. We continued our college visits, prepared for our year with 2 high schoolers, and a final year with Emma at Council Rock, which is probably a good thing because we're tired of being bullied by the boys about joining the other grandparents at Council Rock for events and such. So not that great, but they seem to think it's a hilarious joke. And I'm also sure that you're, like many of you, had this experience in terms of having a senior and really starting to reflect on where they've been in this transitional moment in life and what will happen when they're not at home every day the way they are now. And it made me think of things I maybe have missed, maybe opportunities to really truly embarrass Peter in each one of these speeches. So I thought maybe I'd take the opportunity to give him one last shot. I want to share a story with you that reminded me of the Tell Me conversation. And this is one of Peter's first experiences with his father in the audience for something in my role as his dad and as an educator in the district. And this is when we were in Warsaw. There was a author visit, and the entire community came out for this great event, right? It's in the auditorium, and I'm telling you, it's packed, everybody's there. And we had a really long day at school. We were having to be negotiating all day. And I sat down next to him for this author visit. The author actually was a Brighton grad, which was interesting on a lot of levels. And he told this story and had this very strange message for the kids. He talked about how sometimes lies can be good. Which is a strange thing to be telling your kids at the beginning of a presentation anyway. But he said, can you think of a good lie? And so, there's hundreds of people in the audience, and Peter's hand, little first grader Peter, his hand shoots up, like as fast as can be, and this wave of anxiety overcomes him. Like, what good lie is he possibly going to tell right now to everyone? And they hand him the microphone, and first grade Peter takes the microphone, and the author says, now what's the good line you can think of that would make a lot of sense in a story? And Peter, without hesitation, gets the microphone right up to his mouth and says, I wear ladies' underpants. And I'm telling you the cold sweat that overcame myself and Betsy, the white that I've never seen before. And immediately, there's silence for a second, and then immediately the entire auditorium erupts in uncontrollable uncontrollable laughter. But at this time, Peter wants to crawl under the seat. Would have been a good moment for telling more. Or maybe not a good moment for telling more. And what he meant was, in Shrek, and he was very clear with me last night, and I had to really point this out to very clearly. In the Shrek movie, there's a moment when the characters are caught in a web, and they're trying to get Pinocchio to have his nose grow, so they can use his nose to climb out of this web. And so it serves this great purpose. It made perfect sense. And actually, I knew, he turned to me right away, it's from Shrek, Dad, it's from Shrek. I knew exactly what he was talking about. I got it. Nobody else there picked up on that. As they were laughing hysterically, there's no way to explain it now after they had passed the microphone. So in Shrek, Pinocchio says that really is 100%. Hysterically, his nose does not grow, and it's this funny moment. This is also the time when I should tell you, Peter wanted me to multiple times point out to you that he had no interest in, nor does he now, in wearing what he referred to as his underpants. He wants that very, very clear to his audience and anybody who will see this stream later. However, afterwards, Betsy and I tried to walk up to the author and said, oh, you know, that was so funny, but I mean, just so you know, this is what he was trying to get at. And the author, this made it even funnier. Oh, no, it's okay. We should encourage this in young people. They should express themselves. This is something about it. They should feel free saying, no, you don't understand. And the author would not get off because he's like, no, it's really okay. Young man, it's all right. If that's something that's good for you. And so maybe tell me more was not the right conversation at that point. Charlie, for his part, is ready to be a DHS also. I'm not sure Peter is ready for Charlie to be here as a freshman. He has already explained the ins and the outs of the schedule and various DHS policies to his brother, who's yes a senior. And the ninth grader has decided he's going to explain it to his brother, and I'm not sure Peter's so enthralled to have his brother's advice. And last year when we began the year, I had a different type of experience in freshman orientation in 8th grade pep rally that the middle school put on to welcome kids back. And in this scheme of embarrassing my children, I'll never forget Rob saying, you know, do you want to come and greet the kids? I said, yeah, I'd love to. And Charlie thought that it had rained out the day before, maybe he'd escaped this, and no way, I can definitely make it there. And I walk up, and this tells you a little bit about Charlie versus Peter. He's all the way in the back, as far back on the field between the middle school and high school that he could possibly get with his buddies. And he sees me standing with Rob, and immediately, oh man, go away. Which, that only encourages me more. So Rob hands me the microphone, I get up on the blocks, look out over everybody, which is nice, I don't obligated to them, and lead the kids in the clap game, the cheer that our kids do here for pep rallies, and get them all fired up. Charlie, meanwhile, was trying to bury himself in the lawn between the middle school and the high school, and on his way out, will not talk to me. His friends think it's hilarious, but the entire time he's saying, stop, cut it up. I thought that I would kind of follow up on that too. You know, homecoming dance is this Thursday. And for the freshmen, I'd be happy to participate with you and get involved in that, to which I think Charlie attempted to transfer schools. Emma, for her part, cannot wait to return to school. She's happy all the time, except when occasionally being tormented by her brothers. She's all rainbows, uniforms, pedicures, makeup, tutus, and asking her dad to be a dance partner. As a matter of fact, in a dance recital this year, I don't think the dance company will ever ask fathers to participate again after this experience. And Emma, although she was pretty fair game, or pretty interested and enjoying the experience, or seemed to at least pretended in front of me, did ask Betsy if she could forego the dance when she gets married, or the dance with her father, and look at something else. I mentioned earlier the journey from last year, and I think a lot about that, and the journey that my own kids have taken from then until now. And I'd like to revisit the journey that we're all on. First, it seems really interesting to me, not interesting necessarily in a great way, that at a time of incredible division in our nation, we seem to find ways to have people on the extremes here also, and frustrated at times, the people that are on the extremes. And don't get me wrong, this is not meant to diminish the feelings of anyone in the discourse. What I'm getting at is that whether it was our response to particular events, our work through the blueprint plan, or during the budget process, public comment, scrutiny, always seems to reflect the division that we see also in our national discourse. We're very much a reflection of what seems to be happening outside of us. And some think that we're either too politically correct, or that we're catering to an agenda, or too protective, or not willing to change. They think we aren't listening or don't understand this content that we can't, because everybody sometimes can't please anybody. And then we're reminded through forums, thought exchanges, revotes, public conversations, And countless anecdotes and vitamins were on the sideline or during intermissions, that so many people in this community that are in the middle, from all backgrounds, from all groups, all different facets of life here at Brighton, are very, very, very excited about the experiences their children are having and the work being done by you. They may not be the vocal extremes that are shouting the loudest. And again, I'm not diminishing their perspective either. I'm just trying to say to you that the vast majority of people are thrilled with the experience that their kids have with you each and every day. They're happy with a place that does the right things for the right reasons and tries in all efforts to go about them the right way. So we need to keep that in mind all the time in our work. And don't get me wrong, we think all the time about how we can be better, and we will always think that. But we need to pause and recognize the fact that we're doing really, really well. And that's thanks to each and every one of you. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but our graduation rate was at 86.4% in 2013. It's now 96% for all students. It was 72%. It was 72% for Hispanic students, and it's now 91%. 54% for African American students, now 88%. 72% for economically disadvantaged students, now 94%. I also don't know if you know that 71% of our kids leave Brighton High School having taken at least one AP course. And the greatest growth in representation of those courses is among multiracial students from 33% to 100%, and African American students from 22% to 44%. And we know by taking rigorous coursework, students are that much more likely statistically to be successful in college and in life by persevering, by experiencing that rigor and having that challenge. Those numbers are really incredible, but it's your work behind the numbers that is what is really astounding. You make every child a priority every day in every way. So during our program work this summer with stakeholders from throughout the district and community, we came to an important and interesting fork in the road. First, the blueprint itself has become more consolidated, more focused, more direct, and definitely on some key areas. Second, we explored the connection between mental health, technology, safety, and equity issues, and there are deep connections between each of those areas. We discussed the need also to make this make sense for all of you. So in other words, this big plan, this complex document shouldn't be just dropped on your desk in this overwhelming nature. Here you go, this is the work, and this is what we're going to do. So we're really making an effort, you'll see in your faculty meetings today, to say this is what it means for you. This is the most important aspect of the plan for each one of you. Overall, the theme that emerged, though, from the group and voted on as a galvanizing motto in our work is every child, every day, in every way. It's a powerful model that reflects who you have been. Although it's aspirational, it is attainable because it's already what you do, more or less a great reminder of who we already are. Let's hear a little bit from our kids about how you have put every child first, every day, in every single way.
Things. Yeah. Things. They're things.
They help us learn, they give us free time. They're really nice and they help you when you need help.
They work really hard to make sure that we're okay and that we feel good.
They're really nice. Sometimes if we win games, we get prizes. And sometimes they're super cool.
I like teachers that are funny and joke around a lot.
And that they teach well, because if they didn't teach well, you wouldn't get it and you wouldn't get to move a grade up.
Yeah. They always teach you math.
If you do a really good job all day, you're a secret student.
They're there for you always, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone I had were kind. Yeah.
I like the before school activities. They're actually pretty fun. Even though it might be hard to wake up in the morning.
Every third grade teacher is so welcoming to the new school.
Our teacher, she puts up quotes in our classroom for each month. I don't remember what this month is.
Teachers don't just set you off, here you have to do this by yourself. They kind of give you directions on how to do it, and they help you in each and every step.
Everything about them is they're so kind and helping, loving.
They look out for us. They're kind of like our guardians at school.
A lot of them just like get it. Like they just like understand from a kid's perspective somewhat.
I like how they use a mix of being like a fun teacher and a sort of semi-strict, so kids don't start getting crazy.
When we do good things, we know that we get a reward, and when we do bad things, we know that we'll get something taken away.
Kids, they want to come back to school and they want to be like, oh, hi, Miss Teacher.
The PE teachers, the music teachers, the art teachers, with technology, like they made us feel comfortable.
Everybody knows their star qualities. It's not just like random words in their head and stuff.
I think at French Red I've probably had the best teachers so far.
They don't give you a ton of homework. They help you learn.
They prepare you for going on to middle school and high school, but they also let you just enjoy being in friends.
My 3rd grade teacher, she was like super nice and super understanding. My 4th grade teacher was like super nice, super understanding. And my 5th grade teacher is just super nice, understanding, and amazing.
Teachers cheering you on for what you're doing, it just makes you feel good.
Some kids, they get stressed, but then like the teachers just persevere them to do it, to do what they're stressed about, and I like that.
I can learn better when I'm more motivated, and teachers help me get motivated to learn, so I can do my best in my learning space.
What makes them great is that they're so positive and upbeat to helping students and helping them get through the grade. If you had questions, they would answer them in simple and easy to understand ways, and like they would be very open to like help you if you needed something.
They probably have teached us to do a lot more than we probably would have known without them.
And I feel like they're more like open-minded than other teachers. It's just a great like learning experience.
I think the teachers really express what motivates them and what made them choose their job, and how it's okay to change what your interests are.
They also like to teach because like if they like teaching their class, that'll impact you.
They teach you really nicely so we understand the material before we have tests and stuff.
Even if the material isn't fun, it's good if the teacher can like teach it in a fun way.
Or like put a twist on it.
What I think makes a good teacher is they're nice and helpful, but they also have rules that like you have to follow, so it teaches you discipline.
They make you work, but then they also help you, and there's a lot of great one-on-one.
They always try to like help you succeed. Like they're not trying to like just get the day over with and get rid of you. Like they really try and help.
They also like have you like actually do things, and they don't like waste your time just telling random stories. They actually like teach you.
They encourage you to like start like now.
Earlier instead of later.
Yeah. Like all the teachers, when we're doing anything in class, they're like, oh, in high school you're gonna want to do this a little bit differently, or well, you want to practice doing this.
Their knowledge on the material, if they like really understand it, they can actually help the students like more.
It's just kind of like nice to know that they'll always be there if you need someone to talk to.
And I always feel comfortable talking to them about anything.
They help you be responsible.
Yeah, and just they bring positivity.
Yeah.
They actually like tell us like what we're gonna want to do differently or do better.
They want you to do your work and get it finished, yet they're relaxed about it. They don't yell about it.
I think it's like being energetic and like having fun with the class and like liking what they do.
Also be a fun teacher and have lots of parties.
The teachers at Brighton are amazing. Sometimes I see some of them as friends, not even teachers.
They're more than a teacher, they're better a friend. They teach you so much, not just about the course, but life itself and how to be a better person.
You can just talk to them about anything really. Like some of them are great like that. You can just have conversations with them.
If you just want to cry, or you want to laugh, or you want to be with your friends or with your teacher or do work, you can really, a lot of their classrooms are just so open and welcoming.
I think the teachers here are amazing.
They really want you to succeed. They do everything they can to help you.
They will do almost anything to help you succeed.
The teachers at Brighton will do almost anything except like entirely do the work for you.
Something that gets said a lot, that these teachers are willing to really do anything, bend over backwards to help a student succeed.
Even when you don't do work or when you try to put off stuff, they still try to be flexible with you and try to help you succeed.
Some of the teachers here are probably some of the most supportive people I've ever met.
Something I've noticed that all the teachers do is they're very good about incorporating a little bit of every sort of teaching style.
One of the biggest things about the teachers here is the enthusiasm.
I really like it when teachers aren't afraid to share their opinions. I think sometimes they're afraid of alienating part of the class, but I think it's part of the real world that you're going to be around people with different opinions.
Even if it's about a subject that they don't teach, if you're interested in that and you want more information, then they'll help you find what you want.
My interests have definitely been kind of like altered by my teachers and their love and their passion for what they're doing.
I've had a lot of great teachers through my high school and actually Brighton career, and a lot have made a huge impact on my academics.
They seem to care whether you succeed or not.
They treat me like a friend. They're always there for me when I need them, but they're also there to push you to make sure that you're on top of things.
They really do push you to do better.
It's really been amazing to have adults that you trust, that you can go see pretty easily without them being your parents.
They actually give you a lot of lectures about life, and then they also teach you very thorough. I feel like without the guidance of my teachers, not just in the subjects that they're teaching me in, but in a more personal light, they have really just shown me how to be a better me.
Teachers can be the mechanisms for change in kids. They can be the reason that they decide to take up a new interest. They have such an impact. Every word that they say has a different sort of it hits a student differently.
I'm a very visual learner, so teachers that show me how something happens, like in science class, like chemistry or physics or something, when you see an experiment done, that really works for me.
Anything that I was maybe unsure about or not super interested in automatically became a passion to me just by the nature of how passionate the teachers were.
I like teachers you can joke around with because it makes going to class less of a pain, more of, something to look forward to.
Doctors can change the bodies of people and they can heal them, but teachers are the ones that can go into the heart and change the perspective of the student.
If it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't have had such a great high school experience.
They do inspire me to really want to be someone great.
It's really been great having teachers that I know care.
Thanks, Derek. You always did such a great job. So as I reflect myself on this work and what's been so powerful here in terms of closing the gaps and helping all students achieve, I thought about an author and an inspiration in my life as well. Father Greg Williams, a Jesuit priest whose entire career has been spent working with gang members and former gang members in South Central Los Angeles. And it's not that we have a large number of gang members in our district or former gang members, but it's the point in how we invest in each human being. He devoted his life to this work after spending the first months of his priesthood burying one young person who became victims of gang violence. Homeboy Industries, which began as a bakery and has expanded to a variety of food service-related projects, gives gang members and those struggling after prison or otherwise trying to emerge from that life with a purpose, a job, and a support network to change their lives. I saw the following clip and I was struck by how much this reflects what you've done, how you've changed outcomes, and now you've embraced each child and made sure that none of them are left behind, disposed of, or neglected.
It's been the privilege of my life for 30 years to have been taught everything of value by gang members. And in the last few years, they've taught me how to text, and so I'm really grateful to them because I find it sure beats the heck out of actually talking to people. And I'm pretty dexterous at it, LOL and OMG and BTW, The homies have taught me a new one, OHN, which apparently stands for, oh hell no. And I've been using that one quite a bit lately. My alma mater, Gonzaga University, called me and said they were going to have a big talk on a Tuesday night with 1,000 people. And so I said, sure. And they said, can you bring 2 homies with you? And I always pick homies who have never flown before, just for the thrill of seeing gang members panicked in the sky. I've never picked anybody more terrified of flying than this guy, Mario. He was just absolutely petrified. In fact, he was hyperventilating. And we hadn't even boarded the plane yet. And then our flight crew arrives, and I see 2 flight attendants, females, and they both have very large cups of Starbucks coffee, and they're schlepping up the front steps. And Mario goes, when are we going to board the plane? I said, as soon as they sober up the pilots. I should tell you that Mario, in our 30-year history at Homeboy, is the most tattooed individual who's ever worked there. His arms are all sleeved out, neck blackened with the name of his gang, head shaved, covered in tattoos, forehead, cheeks, chin, eyelids that say the end, so that when he's lying in his coffin, there's no doubt. And so I'd never been in public with him, and we're walking and people are like this and mothers are clutching their kids more closely. I'm thinking, wow, isn't that interesting? Because if you were to go to Homeboy on Monday and ask anybody there who's the kindest, most gentle soul who works there, they won't say me, they'll say Mario. He sells baked goods at the counter at our cafe. He's proof that only the soul that ventilates the world with tenderness has any chance of changing the world. So the nighttime talk comes, and it's 1,000 people, and I invite them up to share their stories in front of all these people for 5 minutes each. They were terrified, but they did a good job. And honest to God, if their stories had been flames, you'd have to keep your distance, otherwise you'd get scorched. I invite them up for Q&A, and I said, yes, ma'am. And a woman stands and she says, yeah, I got a question. It's for Mario. First question out the gate. And Mario steps up to the microphone. He's a tall drink of water, skinny, and clutching the microphone, and he's terrified. Yes. And she says, well, you say you're a father and you have a son and a daughter who are about to enter their teenage years. What advice do you give them? What wisdom do you impart to them? And Mario clutches his microphone, and he's just terrified, and he's trembling, and he's getting a hernia trying to come up with whatever the hell he's gonna say when finally he blurts out, and he stops, and he retreats back to his microphone clutching, terrified retreat. But he wants to get this whole sentence out. I just don't want my kids to turn out to be like me. And there's silence until the woman who asked the question stands, and now it's her turn to cry, and she says, why wouldn't you want your kids to turn out to be like you? You are loving, you are kind, you are gentle, you are wise. I hope your kids turn out to be like you. And 1,000 total perfect strangers stand, and they will not stop clapping. And all Mario can do is hold his face in his hand, so overwhelmed with emotion that this room full of people, strangers, had returned him to himself, and they were returned to themselves. And I think you go from here to stand with the demonized so that the demonizing will stop. And you stand with the disposable so that the day will come when we stop throwing people away. And you stand with those whose dignity has been denied, and you stand with those whose burdens are more than they can bear, and you stand with the poor and the powerless and the voiceless. Make those voices heard.
noise outside of these four walls. It's about the connections you make with people like Marco, the way you make a difference in those lives. You stood with those whose dignity has been denied. You stood with those whose burdens are more than they can bear. But just as importantly, you have taught your students to do the same, to give voice to the voiceless, and to care in a way that allows nobody to be disposable. So thank you for connecting with every child, every day, in every way. Thank you for making a difference in all those lives by seeing past all the other distractions and connecting with human beings and making a difference in their lives. Thank you for doing so and inspiring all of us to do the same. So thank you and welcome back to school. We're very blessed here at Brighton to work so collaboratively with such a supportive Board of Education. They volunteer so much time, they're always asking why not instead of why, how can we help, what more can be done, and what do people need, what would be the best for our kids. They are vigorous defenders of your work and supporters of it as well. Representing the Board of Education today and often as a passionate advocate on our behalf both locally and statewide in all of his efforts, Board President Mr. Kokanovich.
I always get to follow the really easy stuff. I mean, it's difficult to follow that. I don't really have a lot to say. I'm here for the Board of Education. We're really here to welcome you today and to thank you for all that you do. We have just about all of us here today. Our Vice President, Julie Gilbert, Andrew Costanza, Karen Hatch is over here. I saw Dr. Mark Sachs and Christina Lee over the side seats. Larry Davis, being gainfully employed at Paychex, has a big meeting this morning. He can't be here. The only thing that I would add is we sincerely appreciate the work that you folks engage in every single day. It's what we all do, the mantra, every child, every day, every way. Certainly the messaging that Kevin brought this morning, okay, other than the ladies in the pitch maybe, but the messaging of Father Boyle. Often with the board, we talk about sticking to the work. It's the work that's important. If we're doing the right thing for kids every single day, everything else flows from that. So on behalf of the Board of Education, but moreover, the residents of Brighton, children and families from the past, the future, and those that you deal with every day today, we thank you and appreciate all that you do. So thank you very much and welcome back.
Thank you, Mark. You work with the most incredible children that a community can possibly offer. They're kind, bright, creative, committed. They're a joy to know and to work with. A great example of that is our BHS Executive Council President, Eileen Kelly. I see my friend and neighbor, and I'm so excited to welcome Eileen here today to welcome all of you. Come on.
Welcome all Brighton teachers, administration, and staff that keep our schools running smoothly. My name is Eileen Kelly, and I am the Executive Council President for the 2019-2020 school year. When I was invited to speak here, I asked a few of you, what am I supposed to say? Their response, just give us a pep talk. I thought to myself, a pep talk? Why would teachers need a pep talk before school starts? Haven't they done this before? Then I remembered a book that we had read in Council Rock on my first day of school. It was called First Day Jitters. And to summarize, it described the morning of a girl just starting a new school. She was nervous, worried about making friends, anxious about surviving it through the year, and so on. Until the last page reveals she's actually the new teacher. This book stuck with me 10 years later because I never understood why the teacher was nervous. Every teacher that I had, from Council Rock to BHS, never gave me the impression that they had tossed and turned like me the night before. Welcoming your new students, you always seem calm, cool, and collected. As students, we do not realize how difficult it is to speak in front of people, let alone those people being judgmental teenagers. We're so caught up complaining about the amount of homework that we have that we overlook the amount of time teachers and administrators spend outside of school, grading papers, sending emails, and organizing lesson plans. That's a lot of work, but that's a teacher's job. Teachers all over the world do that every single day. The difference between a teacher and a Brighton teacher is their ability to go beyond the curriculum. Yes, we learn what we need to for regions and AP testing, but I believe that Brighton teachers take learning to a deeper level, in which students realize the wonder, the freedom, the importance, and the responsibilities of school. In Council Rock, school was magical. After the first day of kindergarten, Mr. Dreschler pulled a quarter from behind someone's ear. I remember thinking, this is the coolest thing ever. A little part of me thought this was an undercover Hogwarts or something. In Mrs. Beata's class, I met my best friend to this day, and together we learned how to read. The doors to our minds were now thrown open to the adventures stored within the spines of books. Council Rock taught me the wonders of learning. French Road was a bit of a reality check, because we were no longer counting blocks for math. My time there taught me that there was freedom in learning. Our third grade project was to read and act out fables, practicing our speaking in front of people. My class was inspired from this, and my friends and I wrote, directed, and put on another play for our parents, in which we went back in time and met everyone from Abe Lincoln to Amelia Earhart. And again in 5th grade, my class was to put on a poetry cafe. I got into this poetry thing, and I was supported by my teacher, Mrs. Dubois, who worked with me to polish an original poem that I could recite to all the parents. French Road granted us this opportunity to extend the ideas explored in the classroom, demonstrating how there is limitless freedom in learning about your interests. TCMS is a transition. There was some very awkward years there. We finally got blocks back in math. Just now we had to calculate the length, height, and volume of them. Science is no longer growing plants on the back windowsill, but learning intros to biology, chemistry, earth science. TCMS teachers sort of crack open the door to the real world, and they begin to build a foundation to help students understand the world around us. Maybe some of you have heard of RADCAT, but it's an acronym that helps students make sure websites are reliable sources of information. It's a very important skill to learn, though I thought it was silly at the time, probably complained about it to some of you here. Yet, when writing research papers 5 years later, I still go through a mental checklist when researching information online. TCMS teachers are the first to let go of students' hands, first to add the weight of the world to the topics we learn, and first to help us understand the importance in learning about the world we live in. BHS teachers taught me about the responsibility of learning. I took a U.S. history course last year, which was a unique experience as we were able to discuss how modern political issues related to past lives. Though I'd love to tell Mr. Wilmot that the most important thing I learned was how to outline and how to frame presidential timelines 5 minutes before test. He taught us that we all had a responsibility to listen to each other's point of view. Even if we did not agree with their thoughts, we must understand where their thinking came from and how to explain our views without attacking the other. Here at BHS, students have more freedom within their schedules, including the option of running for Dunkin' for coffee every free period, but as the saying goes, with more freedom comes more responsibilities. There are service responsibilities such as getting homework done, participating in class, and using free time wisely. But I believe that BHS teachers impart a deeper level of responsibility as well. We are taught here that if a student has an idea, they have a responsibility to share it, because students' voices are just as important. We are taught here that if something is not right, students have a responsibility to take action against it. We are taught here that if or when we make a mistake, we have a responsibility to learn from it. If your second cup of coffee has just woken you up right now, let me impart one important thing. You are not just teachers. You are Brighton teachers who go above and beyond to inspire every student that will nervously walk through the front doors tomorrow morning. And while the first day jitters may be running through you as lesson plans are reviewed tonight, I remind you teachers that you will impart the wonders, the freedom, the importance, and the responsibility of learning upon the next generation. And with that, I conclude this year's pep talk. Thank you so much for having me here, Dr. McGowan, and I speak for the entire student body when I thank all of your dedication and hard work that you have done and will do in this next school year. Thank you.
That was amazing. I can't even imagine, if you think about that, how profoundly difficult it must be for our students, Karolina and Eileen, to stand before all of you, those they admire so much, and speak so passionately and so eloquently. So great job, Eileen. The Brighton Alumni Association is another excellent example of what makes this district like no other. Their accomplishments as individuals and collective commitment to their school is unparalleled. Here to welcome you back on behalf of all of our alumni is Ms. Maryjane Link from the Alumni Association.
Believe it or not, I'm from the class of 1958. I had trouble thinking that that's 61 years ago. And none of you were teachers then. But our teachers were just as wonderful as you. And my son is a history teacher in New York City, so I really relate to all of this. BSRA works to recognize the heritage of Brighton schools, coordinate and support the union activities. And the unions truly have to, as a scarecrow, what I have to say. And town hall works here too. Maintain archived materials and initiate projects that recognize individual and class accomplishments. Mike and Chuck serves on the board and we always have a student representative. This year we donated 1,400 t-shirts for the Spring Fest. Our Hall of Fame began in 2006, and since then we have welcomed more than 57 outstanding alumni of wonderful district. I'm sure you've seen the display of their pictures across from the gym and amazing group of people. Our scholarship began in 2007, this will be the 13th year, and because of the generosity of alums, we were able to increase the amount to $2,500 for each of the students' 4 years. This year's recipients were Nolan Bellew and Kristen Ann. The committee includes alumni teachers Christina Browning and Helen Benedict. Please encourage your students to apply next spring. Thanks to the leadership of Bob Lambert's class of 57 and our original founder, the scholarship fund is now at $330,000 invested in Vanguard. We believe the fund is self-sustaining and it has large donors to consider letting us use the accrued interest for other purposes. We also received $25,000 from the Will of the Hall of Famer and hope to condense all those pictures in the lobby into an interactive digital display, so stay tuned. Brighton teachers as alums, at one point there were 40. Would any of you who are Brighton alums stand, please? I still think it's a great tribute. We also get books authored by graduates in the library. What a wonderful inspiration for our students. In 2015, we launched the Pete French Memorial Library Project and also are responsible for the courtyard garden, thanks to the leadership of Pete Heinrich. We welcome your involvement in our activities. Have a wonderful school year as you always do.
Thank you very much, Maryjane. What a great bridge to the past as we talk about the future and Eileen and the past with Maryjane and all of the great work that has happened before us. This morning also presents a great opportunity for all of us to get to know our newest team members and put a face to a name. Our first introductions will be given by Council Rock Principal and Construction Manager Extraordinaire, Mr. Matt Tapp.
Okay, I feel it's my duty as the primary school principal. Can we take a stretch break? Everyone stand up. And join me in sitting back down in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so we are excited to first welcome Brittany Bronco to our Council Rock family as a teaching assistant. Brittany is a familiar face, having been a regular substitute at Council Rock for the last 3 years. Brittany and her family, husband Kevin and 2 daughters, Hattie and Ellie, live in Brighton. Hattie being her second grader at Council Rock, along with her cat. Brittany loves to garden, read, and go on family bike rides. She's looking forward to building new relationships and taking on new challenges in her role as teaching assistant this year. Welcome to Brittany. Kaylee Cook, we'd like to welcome her to Council Rock as our part-time music teacher. Kaylee attended Eastman School of Music, where she received her bachelor's degree in music education and is currently pursuing her master's degree from SUNY Potsdam. Before coming to Council Rock, she served as a long-term substitute in both the Rush Henrietta and Wayne school districts. Kaylee lives in the city of Rochester, right along the Lake Ontario shore, with her fiance and tuxedo cat named Felix. She loves to play board games, sing and perform in local community music groups. She's looking forward to meeting and getting to sing and dance with her new Council Rock students. Welcome to Kaylee. Joins Council Rock as a teaching assistant. Paul received his bachelor's degree in communications from SUNY Oswego and his master's degree in education from Nazareth College of Rochester. Previously, he worked as a special educator at the Genesee Community Charter School in Hillside. Paul and his wife Dresden live in Webster with their daughters Aria and Aurora. They were really close, sorry. Aria and Aurora, 2 dogs, Tiger and Twist, and 2 cats. Paul worked for WXXI for 17 years and collected mosquitoes with the New York State Encephalitis program. We are excited to welcome Paul to our team at Council Rock. And finally, this morning, Council Rock is excited to welcome Savannah Tintillo, and she will be joining us as a teacher aide. Savannah has 2 children, Isaiah and Liana, and his daughter to our very own Council Rock literacy coach, Paula Tintillo. Savannah enjoys being out and about with her 2 children, going to playgrounds, the Strong Museum, and visiting this summer. She happily recalls coming with her mom to school every summer to help her set up her classroom at Council Rock, and then coming back as a volunteer years later. We are excited to welcome Savannah back to Council Rock in her new role as teacher. And now it is my pleasure to welcome the esteemed Dr. Leo to the stage.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. We have some great new faculty members to introduce from French Road. Jessica Cordova will be joining French Road this year as a 3rd grade teacher. Jessica attended the University of Miami for her bachelor's degree in elementary education and Spanish, and then Brooklyn College for her master's degree in early childhood education. Prior to joining us at Friends, she taught for 4 years in Brooklyn as a 3rd and 1st grade teacher, and then 7.5 years at Discovery Charter School as a classroom teacher, family liaison, instructional coach, and mentor for new staff. She and her husband Dan are high school sweethearts, have 2 kids. Nick, who is 5 and is starting at Council Rock tomorrow, and Evelyn, who Jessica shared, is 2.5 and going on 30. Not only does Jessica have a passion for teaching, but she also loves to sing, dance, and act, and we're so excited to have her on our team. Welcome, Jessica. Erica Dooley is joining Friends this year as an E&L teacher. Erica attended SUNY Geneseo for a degree in childhood education and Johns Hopkins for her master's degree in literacy coaching and E&L. Before joining us at Friends, Erica taught 2nd grade in Washington, D.C. public school, 1st and 2nd grade at USMC embassy school in Costa Rica, and most recently was a classroom and E&L teacher at Discovery Charter School. Erica and her husband Tom have 2 kids. Miles, who is almost 4, and started UPK at the Children's School in Rochester City School District, and Clara, who will be 1 this month. Erica enjoys camping and being outdoors with her family, and we're excited to have her on our team. Welcome, Erica. Terry Gamble is joining us at French Road as our secretary to the assistant principal. Terry is coming to us from Pittsburgh, where she worked as a teaching assistant with elementary students. Prior to that, she also worked internationally in accounting and finance in many different places, including Tokyo, Hong Kong, Singapore, London, and Germany. Terry and her husband Alan have 2 sons, Elliot, who's a senior at Mendon High School, and Chris, who is working and used to live right next door to Fred's. Terry loves the Atlanta Braves and scrapbooking. Welcome, Terry. Josie Manalika is joining us at French Road this year as a teaching assistant in 2 of our 4th grade classrooms. Josie worked last year as our TA building sub and is a familiar and welcome face in all of our French Road classrooms. Josie and her husband have a son, Pranav, who is going into 8th grade in Pittsburgh this year. She enjoys spending time with her family, had a great summer, and is looking forward to being at French Road. Welcome, Josie. Rachel Sando is joining us as our school psychologist. She attended the University of Rochester for her bachelor's in psychology and RIT for graduate work in school psychology. She's joining us after working in both the Palmac and Brighton Central School Districts. Rachel and her husband Kevin have a 2-year-old son named Henry, a cat named Lucas, and her golden retriever Charlie, who is a therapy dog and is already joining us for work at Fred's. In her free time, Rachel loves to watch crime dramas, spend time outdoors, and do-it-yourself projects around the house, and we're excited to welcome both Rachel and Charlie to join us at Fred's. Welcome, Rachel. Stephanie Webster is joining Fred's as a special education teacher. Stephanie attended the Rochester Institute of Technology for interior design, and then St. John Fisher College to earn her degree in special education. Stephanie worked at Fred's as a long-term substitute before joining the Rochester City School District as a special education teacher, and we couldn't be happier to have Stephanie back with us at Fred's in a probationary position. Stephanie has a cat named Gizmo and a new puppy named Scotty, and in her spare time, she enjoys interior design, cosmetology, and going to see live music and traveling. Welcome back to Fred's, Stephanie. And we have one staff member who's going to work both at Fred's and at Brighton High School, Katie Telly. Katie is joining us as a speech language pathologist. Katie attended Boston University for an undergraduate degree in communication disorders and a graduate degree at the University of Texas, Austin with a master's in speech language pathology. She worked in the public schools in both Boston and Austin, and also here in Rochester at Holy Childhood. Most recently, she even provided teletherapy to students in Maine. Katie lives in Arundel Point with her husband Jack, who is also a speech language pathologist, and their daughter Sarah, who is 7, and Lauren, who is 5. She has an 11-year-old cockapoo named Sandy. She loves to sing and is part of her worship band at church. She loves new adventures outdoors like skydiving in Sydney and jumping off the tallest tower in the southern hemisphere in New Zealand. We're glad to have Katie with us both at Fred's and at Brighton High School. Welcome, Katie. And now I'd like to introduce Mr. Rob Thomas, the principal of 12 Quarters Middle School.
I'm so glad I didn't get bugged. Emily Kay is joining us as a math teacher at 12 Quarters Middle School. She's originally from Manhattan, New York, and is the youngest of 2 children currently living in Arundel. She earned her bachelor's in family and consumer science education and bachelor's in human ecology from SUNY Oneonta, and is pursuing her master's degree in counseling at Brockport. Before joining us, Emily was a substitute teacher at Brighton Central and a long-term sub in Spencerport. She enjoys kayaking, going to concerts and Bills games, spending time with her family, and watching Netflix. Something you should know is Emily held 4 state records at cup standing. Welcome, Emily. Stephanie Cornell will be teaching chemistry. She grew up in a small town near Cooperstown and graduated from Brighton Central School. She is engaged and getting married this October to Alex Elkins, a 2011 Brighton grad. Stephanie earned her Bachelor of Science in Zoology with a minor in Anthropology from SUNY Oswego and her Master's in Teaching and Biology and Special Education from SUNY Oswego. Before coming to Brighton, she taught at the Unadilla, Valley, Wayne, and East Brighton Central School Districts. She enjoys hiking the Adirondack Mountains, fielding training with her border colleagues, and traveling, having visited over 40 countries, one of which was Tanzania, where she climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. Welcome, Stephanie. Marissa Harris will be teaching 8th grade English. She grew up in southern New Jersey with 2 brothers, one older and one younger, and spent the summers at the beach on Long Beach Island. She is married to Jason and has a 3-year-old Andrew in 4th grade, Ethan in 1st grade, and 2-year-old Brooklyn. She earned her BA in English Education from Messiah College and her MA in English from National University. She has taught 7th through 12th grade plus college as an adjunct professor. She has taught in New York, New Jersey, and California, including in international IB school. For the last 5 years, she taught 8th grade ELA at Maryjane Middle School in Manchester, Shortsville. She enjoys reading, running, singing, attending concerts and musicals, and playing sports with her kids. This July, she spent a week in Peru teaching music and outdoor activity to kids at a camp outside of Lima. Welcome, Marissa. Lydia Holdridge will be teaching strings. She grew up in Churchville and is now living in Hilton. She is married to David and they have a 2.5-year-old daughter, Lucia, and a 4-month-old son, Simeon. Lydia earned her bachelor's in music along with her master's in education, adolescent and special education from Roberts Wesleyan College. She taught in Webster and Brockport at Rochester Christian School in Fairport, and most recently, general music at Village Elementary and Hilton and Springs University High School. She plays the violin, sings, and with her husband enjoys fixing up homes to then rent. She is also certified and has taught biology and chemistry, and has formally taught students in every grade except kindergarten. Welcome, Lydia. Annette McDonald will be teaching 2 sections of Spanish. She is originally from the Syracuse area and attended the Phoenix Central School District. She has 2 grown children, a 24-year-old daughter and a 21-year-old son. She earned her BS in Sociology from Oak College, her Master's in Spanish at Middlebury College, and her second education degree from Oswego. Most recently, Annette taught at East Palmyra Christian School, and before that, at Palmyra Middle School. But the bulk of her career was spent teaching Spanish at Gillette Road Middle School in Cicero, Syracuse. Annette enjoys yoga and just became a certified instructor. She also likes to go biking and hiking. In fact, Annette is working toward climbing all 46 high peaks in the Adirondack Mountains and has 9 under her belt today. Welcome, Annette. Megan Moore will be teaching English language learners at TCMS. She is originally from South Korea and grew up in Springwater, New York, the youngest of 3 children, and graduated from Wayland Cohocton High School. She lives in Fairport with her family, husband Steve, 10-year-old daughter Nina, and their mini golden doodle Sadie. She earned her BA in Art History and minor in International Business at Ithaca College and MS in TESOL from the University of Rochester. Following a career in sales, art, banking, and pharmaceuticals, she returned to school for her education and taught part-time at Fairport and 2 years full-time at East Child before joining us. She likes walking, hiking with her family, yoga, biking, small do-it-yourself projects, reading, traveling, and has visited South Korea, the Caribbean, Mexico, Canada, Italy, France, England, and several states, including Hawaii. Megan learned English at the age of 7 when adopted by her American family, and this is a big reason why she changed careers and become an English as a new language teacher. Welcome, Megan. And now it's my privilege to introduce a man who needs no introduction, Dr. Thomas.
Gotta get all my houses around. Nicole Baker has been teaching Spanish for the past 8 years in Wilmington. She has experience in teaching all levels of Spanish, including 2, 3, 4, and 5. She received her Bachelor's of Science and her Master's degree in Adolescent Education in Spanish 7 through 12 from SUNY Oswego. Before beginning her teaching career, Nicole studied in Spain twice, first in Salamanca and then in Barcelona. Nicole has 2 daughters, Haley and Olivia, and is married to Alan, a tech teacher in Williamson. Nicole's a big Boston Red Sox fan and a New York Giants fan. She also enjoys reading, exercising, and running, but most of all, spending time with her family. Welcome, Nicole. Miranda Byer. Miranda will be joining the high school main office staff as an administrative assistant. Miranda joins us after working from home as a daycare provider while raising her daughters, as well as a long history as an administrative assistant, among other office titles. Miranda attended MCC and has a degree in fine arts. She's married to her husband Clint and has 2 children, Julia and Hayden. She loves spending time with her family and playing Uber driver, chauffeuring them all over the Rochester area for soccer games, basketball games, and dance classes. Miranda is also a dog lover and is a beloved Rottweiler, has a beloved Rottweiler named Ahsoka. Welcome, Miranda. Lisa Davey. Welcome, Lisa Davey, to BHF, where she'll be teaching 2 sections of physics in a part-time position. Lisa attended SUNY Buffalo, where she earned an undergraduate degree in chemical engineering. She pursued a career as an engineer, working at Conseco Rovers and Associates in Buffalo. After deciding to pursue a career in education, Lisa attended the University of Rochester, where she earned her master's degree in science education. Lisa has 2 children and a dog, a retired racing greyhound. Her family enjoys spending time outside, hiking, and camping. Welcome, Lisa. Nandita Lee. Nandita has been working in the BHS cafeteria for the past 6 months. She's married with 2 daughters. Ahana is in 3rd grade, and Ashani is in 5th. Her husband, Tufan, is in IT at Constellation Brands in Victor. Nandita enjoys cooking, making friends, and reading. She enjoys mysteries and thrillers, particularly by authors from her native country of India. Welcome, Nandita. Ben Meisel. Ben is coming to BHS as a full-time accompanist with our local program. Ben has served in the role of accompanist for the past 3 years in Spencerport. He holds a bachelor's degree in music from Nazareth College. During his interview, he impressed the committee with his musicianship and his ability to connect with students while accompanying a mock rehearsal. Ben likes the Yankees, the Bills, Syracuse Orange, and he's been playing piano for 24 years now. Ben is really looking forward to being part of the Brighton community. Welcome, Ben. And Catherine Munin. Catherine will be joining the BHS English department and teaching English 9 and 10. She joins us after having taught English at both Barker Road Middle School in Pittsburgh and School of the Arts at the Rochester City School District. Catherine attended Hobart William Smith Colleges, where she earned degrees in English and dance, and Warner School at U of R, where she earned her master's with English and literacy certification. Catherine is a company member of Rochester's Future Point dance troupe and has been a teaching artist there for several years. Catherine was also recently married this past July. Welcome, Catherine, and congratulations. Back to you, Dr. Now.
Thank you very much. Welcome to all those great people. We're really excited to have you join the team. So just a brief housekeeping note, a reminder, and a thank you. I don't believe any other superintendent can say what I say at this point every year, and I really mean this deeply from the heart. Our collective relationship between the district and each of our collective bargaining units is very strong, and it's incredibly important to us. We're grateful for the ability to work so closely together, collaboratively, warmly, and advocating balances the well-being of children, with our mutual goal of being professionals who are focused on students. Personally, I want to thank Judy Wagner for being both a generous advocate for her colleagues on your behalf, but also for Brighton all the time, but particularly all the efforts around the budget and work around state aid. It's profound work that Judy does on behalf. So thank you, Judy, for that. We enjoy a very meaningful and collaborative relationship with all of our non-unit staff members as well, our units representing our teachers, paraprofessionals, tutors, clerical staff, technology staff, buildings and ground staff members, nurses, and administrators as well. What could be formal business relationships are much, much more than that. They are great professionals coming together to talk about how best to support the work of children and how to support each of the individuals involved in those efforts. Judy White, the PTA president, has asked that I remind all of you that there will be a general meeting of the PTA right here immediately following this meeting. And Cheryl Becker, president of the Brighton Educational Paraprofessionals Association, has asked that I remind all of those unit members that they will have a meeting right here at BHS in the lower level of the library, also immediately following this meeting. So as I have said to you on 11 opening days now, children are so much better for having spent their days with you. You're the magic makers, you're the dream catchers. The world and all of us in it will be better off because of all that you do. You're heroes in this world and for our children. The work that we talked about today, the work that we talked about all the time that you do is profound. You are the ones that are making a difference. That noise that I talked about on the outside, it's important for us to listen to the feedback that we get from many different groups of people, to internalize that, to see how we can keep getting better. But at the end of the day, that is noise. And the reality is what happens in your four walls and these four walls in each of the school buildings, that's what's making a difference. That connection with people like Martin, that connection with every child, every day. You do it better than anybody else. We're so grateful for it. I'm grateful for it as a dad. I'm grateful for it as a colleague. So keep up the awesome work, and thank you for it. Have a great year. Best wishes for 2019.